Hello everyone, welcome to lesson 5 of the chapter 1 Mathematical Foundations. In this lesson, we'll be discussing differentiation and integration. For sure, the sub concepts or topics that we all hated when 11 and 12th, and this is a difficult and technical topic as solve sorts. But mostly, it's not about the mathematicals inside of it. In FRM curriculum, you won't be judged on the basis of how good of differentiation and integration you can do. I just have a very bad cold and it's getting noticed on camera now. So differentiation and integration. Now we'll be learning and we'll be thinking about it, what actually it is. Like, what's the use? What do they even tell us in differentiation and integration? What these two things actually help us in. And mostly they are just opposite sides of each other. One tells me the distance traveled, one integrates it all. One differentiates it, one integrates it. That's the difference. That's what you're going to learn. So, what is differentiation? Differentiation is the rate of change. Calculation thing, the rate of change. That's it. The second order derivative, the third order derivative, that's a different thing. That's another part of this. But what are you just learning the rate of change? So let's say if there is this price of a bond, or let's say the time, let's take one example. Your time taken, let's say you're traveling in a car. I'm going to make a very bad looking car right now. This is something that we used to make in fifth class. And you're traveling in a car, and on the road, it's 100 kilometers old. Now, time that you will take depends on the speed you're driving at. Simple as that. Time is equal to distance divided by speed. T is equal to d by s. That's it. That's what we have. Now, what is the change in the time? What is the rate of change in the time when your speed increases? Whether increase in the speed by a nominal amount or very minimal amount. So what's that? So for that, I'll do dt by ds. That's it. That's all I have to do. I'll just have to find the rate of change of time in respect to speed. That's how it is calculated. That's the derivative. That's differentiating it. How much time changes when I change the speed a little. This is in bond pricing also. Price of a bond uh, is a function of yield the bond provides. If yield changes, what is the price change? And that's where okay, so let's say P is the price of a bond and dy is the yield. That this is where we get duration and convexity. Duration and convexity. These are the two topics of FRM in the financial risk management of fixed income that actually decide the risk of your fixed income bond, your bonds. So this is where this is differentiation is used in the duration and convexity. Now let's get some differentiation rules that are essential to know. There's this constant rule differentiating constant gives you zero because there is no rate of what is it? Rate of change? There is no change in constant. That's it. There's this power rule. So if you are x raised to power n and then you differentiate by in respect of x, differentiate with respect to x, WRT x, you must have written it somewhere in 12. Then the answer is n x raised to power n minus 1. This is the answer. If you are there's a constant multiple rule. If there's a x n, yes, and then you d dx, then this a, the constant, goes out and the other part gets differentiated. X, okay, so there is this n into x ray. n into x raised to power n minus 1. This is it. Exponential function. We talked about the Euler's number, Ex. The derivative of Euler's number is itself, so there is no change. Integration of Ex is Ex, derivation, differentiation of Ex is e raised to power x only. Logarithmic function, okay, yeah. Differentiation of log x, ln x basically, ln x raised to power x is 1 divided by x. And yep, that's it. What is integration? This is differentiation. That's what's the rate of change. Rate of change is provided by differentiation. Integration just tells you just sums up the changes. Sums up the changes. That's it. So if differentiation tell you the changes, what has been the changes in the variable changes, its integration sums it up and tells you what's the total distance covered or what's the total change, and it also tells you about area under the curve. The best use of integration is area under the curve. It's find out using definite integrals and indefinite integrals. There's these two things: indefinite integrals and definite integrals. This is integration symbol when there are no numbers, and let's say I want to integrate x n, and there's this dx symbol. So the answer will be x n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 plus c. This constant is always to be added because this is an indefinite integral. You don't know what this constant value is. It could have been anything. We know that we know that c constant if when integrated, when differentiated, gives us the value of 0. So let's say I got this value xn by differentiating some values. Let's say I differentiated x n minus n plus 1 plus c, and I did this. What does it become? This gives me x n plus 1. This gives me what? Okay. Yeah, x n plus 1, n plus 1. This gives me what? This gives me x n. X. This gives me x n. But for the c, it gets differentiated and I get 0. So I don't know what this constant was. So when integrating it again, I get this value of xn. I integrate this value and I also add plus c, the constant, because I never knew the value of this constant because this was differentiated and it became 0. With definite integrals, we get the area under the curve. So let's say I want to calculate, this is a function. Let's say y is equal to x plus 6. This is a function. I want to integrate it. I want to integrate it and I want to find its value between 0 and 2. Area under the curve upon 0 and 2. Let's say x plus 6. So it's the integration is going to be something around it's x, no integration. 1 x 1 x square, yeah, x square divided by 2 will be the answer, no? Yes. So it's x plus 6. Integrating this, we'll get dx, and this will become 6x, and this will become xn. Yeah, x square divided by 2 plus 6x, and then we'll have this 2 and 0, and then we'll put these values in. So 4 divided by 2 plus 12 minus 0 basically, and 2 and 12, so 14. So for this value, 6 and 2 plus 6, 8, The area under this curve is 14, 14 whatever units it can be. That's the area under this curve. That's how you calculate it. This is the use of definite integrals. There's nothing much over about differentiation and integration. Not at this part. This is the basics. The differentiation tells you about the rate of change, and integration puts it back together and tells you what the changes are.